Welcome back to The Average Drinker. I'm Dara, I'm your average drinker, like always, because I tell you that every single time. But today I am here to bring you a review of something new I just picked up. I had to jump in and do a review on this because, well, I love Elijah Craig barrel proofs. They're probably like one of my favorite all-time bottles out there. I get excited every time I get a new bottle, and I've gotten a lot of new Elijah Craig barrel proof bottles lately, from store picks to like different, I don't know, like private selections, things like that. I even got to do the bottle your own whenever I was in Kentucky. But that brings me to this bottle right here. This one is the Elijah Craig A122. Just came out. I'll show you it for just a second. I don't know if you guys can see that. A122. So it just came out, and it's weird because Colorado actually didn't get the C921. I never saw it anywhere in Colorado. And now Colorado is one of the first places to get A122. Luckily for me, I was able to pick up the C921 in Kansas, so I got to try it. But that actually brings me to my review of this bottle. So brace yourselves because, well, this one might get a little wild. So on the nose with this one, I get the typical like bourbon notes that I get, and a typical like Elijah Craig notes that I get. A little bit of oak, vanilla, some cherry actually on this one. Just nice, maybe in a little cinnamon, some vanilla custard. I keep drinking this one because I keep thinking that the more I drink it, the better it's gonna get. But that might not actually be the case. And here's why. So, like I said, I love Elijah Craig barrel proofs. They're so delicious. But this one might not be the best one I've had. So, on the palate with this one, I'm going to take a sip. As you can tell, I've drank it down a little bit. Turn it sideways so you can see. Drink it down a little bit just because I really wanted to give you an honest review of this. And that's my main goal of having this channel, is to give you the most honest review possible. Good or bad or in between, however it might be. So there's my swig on it. So right up front, I get some sweetness. I get that sweetness of like a vanilla custard, a little bit of oakiness. I do still get that hint of cherry. And then it kind of flows lightly in the mid palate to the snickerdoodle. Like, it does remind me of a snickerdoodle cookie. Love those things. So that's great, right? But then this is the part that gets a little sketchy for me. On the back end, it kind of flows into this like cinnamon and hot. It does get a little bit hot on the back end. And then it dries out and it leaves this bitterness. And it's a weird bitterness that gets super peppery, like very peppery, which I'm all for the pepperiness of whiskey. I like that typically. And I liked it a lot on the C921 that I had before this. But this one is actually a little bit peppery and dry, which isn't the best combination. That one is a little bit more peppery and sweet, and it has more of an oily tongue feel. This one, the palate just gets, like I said, a little bit bitter, a little bit drying, and it's warm. It's really warm. So let's check the proof on this because I can't remember. Yeah, it's 120.8. So honestly, it does drink that warm. And I love barrel proofs, so I don't typically complain about how hot something is. I don't like how it dries though. That's just something I'm not a big fan of. So another flavor that I also get whenever it kind of is all said and done with, like once I kind of get that bitterness out of the way and that pepperness out of the way, I do get some like tobacco, which is nice. I like there's still a flavor lingering there, so that's a positive for this bottle. But for me, it just kind of, it misses the mark a little bit for what I'm used to with the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. So I feel a little bit disappointed. Maybe I got a bad bottle. I don't know. Maybe I did. But I don't know. Take another swig of this little guy. Yeah. I mean, it just gets dry like a fire-breathing dragon on the back end. It's like, whew. That's how I feel. Like, whew. So I feel like when I breathe out, like I'm like, whew. Like, I don't know, it's just dry and peppery, very peppery. Wow, super peppery on the back end. Like almost like you just shook some pepper into this. Not like that white peppercorn, like literally like black pepper. So that's what I get. Maybe it would be really good with a cigar. I haven't had one with it, but got some new Alec Bradleys that I want to try that Matt Porter from ADHD Whiskey sent me. So maybe I'll crack one of those out of the package, light it up, and see if that makes this taste a little bit better. So I guess now you're probably wondering, what cork rating am I going to give this little guy? Well, I'm sad because I want to give it a higher score, but it's not hitting the mark for me. So I'm going to give this one 2.5 corks. It's not great. It's not horrible. It just kind of, to me, it might be a little bit below average. And especially when you compare it to all the Elijah Craig barrel proofs I've tried lately. So I am a little disappointed, a little sad. That's what I've got for you. 2.5 corks. I don't know if you're out hunting for this. I mean, it's a $75 bottle. So Elijah Craig, to each their own. Every palate's different. I want to know what you think. If you find this one and you try this one and you find yourself thinking the same thing as me, let me know in the comments. I'll always be glad to hear what you think. Even if you don't think I'm right, like tell me what you think, because everybody has their own palate and everybody has their own opinion. So feel free to share yours in the comments. And as always, please hit that like button, subscribe to me, and come on, go check out my Patreon. I'm offering a lot of stuff there. Got some cool things coming, free stuff, Glencairns, opportunities to see what's in my whiskey library, things like that. So check out my Patreon. And as always, I really, really appreciate your support of my channel. And I'll be back with so much more of The Average Drinker. I'm Dara. See you next time.